Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're diving into the art of conscious self-observation and inner awakening. Now, you might already understand a ton of spiritual concepts, right? Like on an intellectual level, you get it. But as our source material today highlights, just understanding the concepts isn't really enough. True transformation, that requires the ability to actually see how you function on the inside, moment by moment. And the real trick is doing that without turning your inner world into this harsh, judgmental courtroom.
So let me ask you a question. Are you actually making conscious choices? It's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but our sources really challenge our everyday perception of free will. They introduce this slightly uncomfortable idea that most of us are literally just repeating old patterns. We're operating on borrowed opinions, and we're reacting with these conditioned emotions that are basically just loaded and ready to fire at any second.
The text actually calls this the hypnotic state. It's like an invisible prison where we automatically repeat all those conditioned habits without any true presence. Think about the last time you drove home on autopilot and literally couldn't remember the commute. Or, when you found yourself endlessly doom scrolling on your phone without realizing a whole hour just vanished. That right there, that's the hypnotic state. And the thing is, most people never wake up from this because ordinary life actually functions perfectly fine on autopilot. There's no real urgency. And honestly, that's absolutely fine for their soul's journey. But if you're watching this explainer right now, you're probably sensing that something within you is ready to shift. You are ready to step out of it.
So, to break this abstract idea down into a concrete framework, here is our roadmap. We're going to cover 1. The hypnotic state, 2. The 4 principles of self-observation, 3. Voluntary suffering, 4. The starting point, 5. A daily presence exercise, and finally, 6. The ancient concept of know thyself.
Okay, Section 1, the hypnotic state, or living on autopilot. Let's take a deeper look at this condition we're currently living in.
There is a really stark contrast between ordinary life and conscious life. Ordinary life is all about automatic functioning and reactive emotions. Honestly, a person could live 80 years in the state without any actual presence. Conscious life, on the flip side, demands presence. It demands awareness and actual conscious choice. Because without presence, we're really just machines reacting to whatever stimulus bumps into us.
So how do we cross over into that conscious life? Let's get into the core framework of today's explainer. Section 2, the 4 principles of self-observation. Before we break these down, it's worth validating where this practice actually comes from. Just so you know, these aren't some passing New Age fad. They actually trace way back to ancient Buddhist, Sufi, and Christian contemplative traditions. Then, in the 20th century, G.I. Gurdjieff brought them into a more modern framework called the Fourth Way. And today, contemporary guides like Red Hawk have articulated them beautifully for the modern practitioner.
So what are they? We're about to unpack 4 main pillars. Number 1, observing without judgment. Number 2, without trying to change anything. Number 3, grounding in the sensations of a relaxed body. And number 4, being absolutely honest.
Let's look closely at Principle 1, without judgment. Our ordinary mind acts exactly like a super harsh judge, right? It's constantly classifying things as good or bad, which just creates this inner contraction and shame. But the source text gives us a pretty fundamental law here. What we stop feeding with our energy weakens by itself. So the absolute crucial point is that by observing yourself as just a neutral, compassionate presence, that inner judge slowly loses its power, simply because you've stopped giving it your energy.
And that brings us to a highly counterintuitive principle: observing without trying to change anything. Think about it. When your will is directed outward, you're forcing modification. You're essentially starting an inner war, yelling at yourself, "I must stop being angry." But when your will is directed inward, you're just remaining present as a conscious witness. The real magic here is that transformation, say of a bad habit or a sudden flash of anger, happens organically. It happens as an unsought side effect of simply witnessing it, rather than violently forcing it to change. Simply seeing it without adding tension is just far more powerful than fighting it.
Moving right along to Principle 3, in the sensations of a relaxed body. Your body is literally the ultimate radar of reality. Long before your mind even constructs a story about why you're totally justified in being upset that someone loaded the dishwasher wrong, your body has already reacted. Tensions, blocked breath, a clenched jaw, these things offer living information. By anchoring your attention in your physical sensations, you bring yourself immediately back into the present moment.
Which brings us to Principle 4, absolutely honest. The text says, to observe yourself requires radical sincerity. It means telling yourself the truth, even when it hurts. You really have to be completely honest with yourself. And that means being willing to see the uncomfortable stuff, like realizing your supposedly generous act was actually just a subtle way to seek approval, or admitting that you harbor a hidden need to feel superior to others. It cracks the very image of yourself that you so fiercely want to defend.
And that uncomfortable realization leads us perfectly into Section 3, voluntary suffering. This is a profound and frankly demanding concept that arises directly from radical honesty.
In ordinary life, we do literally everything we can to avoid suffering. But when it inevitably hits us, we tend to endure it as victims. That's passive suffering, and it really just makes us closed off and bitter. But our sources highlight a totally different, powerful alternative: voluntary suffering. This is consciously chosen. It's the pain to your ego when you face those uncomfortable truths about yourself we just talked about. When you can hold that pain in the light of consciousness, without any self-pity, it becomes a fire that purifies and transforms you.
So why on earth do we put ourselves through this? Let's check out Section 4, the starting point, or staying awake.
This concept completely strips away all the spiritual ego. Self-observation is the unglamorous, everyday work of staying awake in ordinary life. True inner work isn't about some exotic escapism or channeling cosmic energies or having mystical visions on a mountaintop. If you can't make the simple effort to stay present while you're washing the dishes or having a mundane conversation with a coworker, all your other practices are honestly just keeping you trapped in that hypnotic state.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's move from the theory to a highly actionable daily application. Section 5, a daily presence exercise to observe a reaction.
Our source recommends a 6-step exercise you can actually try today. Step 1, choose a typical reaction you have. Maybe it's that flash of irritation when someone contradicts you. Step 2, when it happens, pause inwardly, just a quick pause. Step 3, notice your body's sensations, clenched jaw, tight chest. Step 4, observe your thoughts flying by. Step 5, and this is the absolute key, do not judge. Don't say to yourself, I shouldn't feel this way. Just acknowledge it. And finally, step 6, do a quick evening review of how it went. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is simply to remain present while the reaction unfolds.
Let's conclude our explainer by tying this very modern daily practice back to its deepest, most ancient roots. Section 6, know thyself.
Know thyself. Nothing in excess, hubris brings ruin. These are the legendary maxims of the Oracle at Delphi, which Socrates actually made the entire foundation of his method. It's this ancient, timeless invitation to recognize your own limits and your own internal machinations before you go searching for virtue anywhere else.
And I want to leave you with this absolutely provocative, extended Delphic thought. If you ignore the wonders of your own house, how do you expect to find other wonders? The treasure you are desperately looking for lies hidden within your own unvarnished truth. So my question to you is this: are you finally ready to observe your own house and step out of the hypnotic state?